Fresh, coming to you as one part of the Deep Third podcast. Um, Last week we came to y'all. We started something new. We're coming on Facebook and we're going to be on YouTube as well as some other platforms where you get your podcast. So please, if you like this, we appreciate it. If you like our Facebook page, also go over to that YouTube page and like that page as well. We're trying to do some big things and we need all the support that we can get. So we love y'all Facebook. We love y'all YouTube. We appreciate it. Um, I'm gonna let Fabe and Dante take it from here, and then it's gonna come back to me on the hot topic. But hey, listen, it's Friday night. We got one more week of football coming up. We got to enjoy it while we can. But go ahead, Dante, take it over.
Yo, man, it's me, DP. Man, we appreciate you guys logging in and watching our opinions on what's going on in the sports world. So stay tuned.
Go ahead, Fabe.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Fave here, your last third of the Deep Third Sports Podcast Show. Thank you guys for tuning in again for this week's episode. So make sure you guys hit that like button, you subscribe, and for those of you on the Facebook page, make sure you guys go and like the Deep Third Facebook page. And also make sure you guys stick around for the entire show, as in the last about 10-15 minutes of the show, we have a segment that's just for you guys where we take your guys' questions, comments, feedback, anything like that, and we call it Deep Thought. So you guys make sure you stick around for the whole show so that you guys can participate in that. So now back to you, to Mr. Jarrell.
Hey, man. Another great show. So basically, what it is I get to start off the show with something, a hot topic, a hot take, something crazy. Um, this week, I'm coming from last week's NFC championship game, the Tom Brady's versus the Aaron Rodgers. We're not calling teams, I'm just saying names. So, what I got to talk about is I think the build up was such a big thing for Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. And in my opinion, I think we saw anything but just strictly Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady. Um, I thought you saw opportunistic defense play a huge role. And to me, Tampa Bay 2 times this year I'm not going to say slowed down Aaron Rodgers to the point where they gave their team an opportunity to win. And some people are going to blame it on the coach. Some people's going to do all this. Hey, listen, it's more than just not going for it on fourth down. I'm tired of people coming at Matt LaFleur's neck talking about how do you not go for it on fourth and goal. Well, you didn't get anything on the first 3 downs. Do you think that is just going to happen just because he's Aaron Rodgers? So I get what they're saying. You want to win the game. He's your best player. I get it. I understand. But I'm going to ask y'all real quick. Was it a back to back? I mean, a battle it out duel? Or was it team play?
I'll say team play. I honestly don't think either one of them played that good. Not up to the standards that you would expect of a Tom Brady, of Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that. It wasn't that good. Now, well, back and forth. If you want to go back to Brady and in the Philly Super Bowl, Brady and oh geez,
Oh, now,
no, Nick
oh, Foles?
Foles. Like that was a back and forth. That was a QB battle in a duel. This was a game of opportunities. It was defenses were giving opportunities and what team could cash in. Aaron Rodgers had what 3 opportunities in the second half and blew it. So yeah, I don't think either one played good.
Dante?
I think they both played good. I mean, Aaron Rodgers threw for 346 yards. He had three touchdowns, one interceptions. Tom Brady had 280 yards, three touchdowns, but he threw three interceptions. So I would definitely say that they both played really well, and it did almost kind of come down to the wire. But hey, what can I say, man? We all knew what was gonna happen. I've been saying it since day one. The Bucks going to the Super Bowl. Let's go.
Hey, so I mean, just in a grand perspective, Aaron Rodgers played better than Tom Brady. No matter what they say with Green Bay being the number one seed, I didn't think that they were the number one team. I said it on our podcast week after week after week. The regular season didn't matter to me. You got Tom Brady in the playoffs. Tom Brady in the playoffs. I don't care who you are. So uh, I'm not going to go too far into it. But the other thing that kind of made me mad is people was coming at Aaron Rodgers for not getting the job done, 5 NFC championships, and um, not making it back to a Super Bowl, all this and that. And listen, guys, that's flat out garbage. That's flat out garbage. You got to understand that football is the ultimate team sport. Yeah, Tom Brady can do some fantastic and amazing things. But if Tom Brady didn't have a stone cold kicker in the beginning of his career, they wouldn't have won them Super Bowls. If Tom Brady didn't have a decent defense in the majority of his Super Bowls, he would have been just like Peyton Manning, who didn't have a Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and say Aaron Rodgers shouldn't have, or couldn't have gotten a little bit further. But listen, at the end of the day, you're talking about a team sport. And if you got a team, you saw it in Philadelphia. They were not the most talented team on that field, but they won because they played the best as a team. So I'm going to leave it there. If y'all got anything to say, go for it. If not, Dante, let's get into these two topics, bruh.
Let's go. You ready, Faye?
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Let's turn up. All right, man. So, hey, question number one. The Brooklyn Nets. Can the big three coexist? What are y'all thoughts?
Oh, man. Babe, you mind if I start?
Go for it, Chief.
Man. So I'm going to say the regular season, yes. I'm going to say postseason, no. Now, the reason I say regular seasons, because these games don't matter. They might start, one night Kevin Durant closed, one night Kyrie closed, one night Harden closes. But when I look at that team, Durant's going to be okay regardless. The battle is really going to be James Harden. Well, yeah, James Harden, Kyrie Irving. That's going to be where that tug of war is, because you're talking about two ball dominant guys who likes the ball in their hands. Now, where they're lethal is two of them, Kyrie and KD. I would say take the last shot whenever you want. James Harden, on the other hand, the only reason I say I want the ball in Harden's hands is because he's likely to get fouled because of how good he is at getting to the line. Um, but can they coexist, man? That when you get into half court offense and game slows down, it's not as free flowing. Possessions are at a premium, and Harden might not get his 30 shots. Durant might not get his 30 shots. Kyrie might not get his 30 shots. So who's going to be okay with taking a back seat, or I'm not even going to say a back seat. Who's going to be okay with sitting in the passenger seat and not driving the vehicle? That is what is going to be, to me, the biggest challenge, and why I think in the playoffs they're going to have trouble. So I think they coexist in the regular season. I don't think they coexist in the postseason.
Okay.
Interesting. Regular season to postseason. Um, to me, I don't think they coexist or they can coexist up till there's any sign of trouble. So I guess maybe this could go for playoffs in the regular season. No, they know they can pretty much beat anybody. So I guess it's the same theory applies with where you're going because I can definitely see turmoil happening in the playoffs. And the minute that the turmoil happens, are they going to be able to get it back together? To me, for this to work, KD really, really has to step up and be a leader on this. And I don't know. It's like I don't see it. I don't see in KD being that leader, that LeBron, that Steph Curry, and others like that because, bruh, homie called you a P. Your own teammate called you a P. Like that's what he in his most hottest moment he called you that. Like when people are angry, they speak the truth.
Yep.
And that's how that man felt. And I'm sure he wasn't the only one. I won't say the whole team felt that way, but that's probably how a couple people felt. So I don't know if somebody like that can be a leader. Like I don't think if Draymond and LeBron got into it, for one I don't think even Draymond might even act like that with LeBron. Would he probably have words? Sure, it's Draymond. He'll probably speak his mind, but I don't think he would go to that extent of being that disrespectful. So I just don't think like they're friends, right? LeBron's friends, and I know Steph is friends with all his teammates, but there's still a respect factor to who that is and the respect factor of that greatness. And I just don't see Kyrie and Harden when the going gets tough having that respect factor for KD if he try to speak up and all of that stuff. I don't see that working. I see that being the divide. If LeBron was a part of them, I think LeBron could cool the waters for them to go win a championship.
Right.
Okay.
You right. Go ahead, Dante.
So, let me start by saying this. In my opinion, they are champion. They have to make it to the finals or bust.
Make it, not win it, just make it.
I mean, when you have three, when you have three people of that caliber that's on the same team, um, you almost got to win because who, if you look at any NBA roster, who has three? Like I know you had like what with Miami, they had the big three. It's not like this.
No.
When even when the Boston had the big three,
Nope.
it ain't like this. So I almost look at it. I want to say, yeah, they gotta win. Um, the minimal, they have to make it to the finals. Um, the can they coexist? I want to go off of kind of piggyback off of what Jarrell said. The big thing is going to be who's going to take the back seat. I don't think it's the passenger side because it's three of them. So it can only be a driver, a passenger, and they got to be a backseat rider. And one of them have to do it. And in my opinion, KD's the best player on the team. Harden and Kyrie. Kyrie is the third best player on the team. So he's going to have to take the back seat. Will he do that? Don't know. And that's going to be the determining factor whether they're going to be able to coexist or not. The other thing is they got to start playing defense because they ain't playing no defense. And if you look at, you even whether you're looking at football, basketball, baseball, the teams that try to get into shootouts with teams on a nightly basis, those teams don't really do that well. For instance, the Suns, when they had Nash and Stoudemire, and they was putting up 140, 150, 130. Yeah, they was putting up buckets. But that next tomorrow when they play, if nobody came to shoot, or if everybody had an off night, they get blown out. So they have to start playing defense. Even when you look at football, the Big 12, that's all they do is score points. Nobody. It's like they just it's playing touch tag football in the backyard. You can't touch the quarterback. You just throwing the ball around, and you just get as many points as you can. But they're gonna have to play defense. But I think they can. It's just going to depend. It's going to depend on if everybody's going to accept their role and their place on the team. Last year, it was. I would definitely say it was KD and Kyrie. But once he came in the picture, yeah, Kyrie has to take the backseat.
I think they made a mistake by bringing Harden in. I mean, you literally got two of the worst defensive players in Kyrie and James Harden. So where normally you got one guy on the court that you got to make up for, now you got two guys that can't really guard anybody. I'm not saying they don't have the ability to, but from what they've been in their career, neither one of them are great defensive players. KD wasn't until he went to Golden State, and then we saw how he how he slowed LeBron down. And that's when I think people started putting him in that category with LeBron, because he wasn't just an offensive player like he was in Oklahoma. But yeah, so we will gladly see. I think that's a great first topic. Dante, you want to send us into the next one?
Kyrie can play. I think Kyrie's a better defense. Yeah, man, let's get it. All right, so for the second one, Watson. So his coach, Bill O'Brien, got fired during the season, and they basically need a coach. They hired a guy. Do you think the guy that they hired, I forget his name. What is his name? Is it Joe something?
Oh, he got some weird last name.
Yeah, whatever. The Ravens receiver coach. He's not even an OC, but receivers coach.
I didn't know that. Receivers
got
coach?
David,
What's that?
David Culley. David Culley.
Mr. David. Faye likes that. His face bar stink. Mr. David. Mr. David got hired as the man, I can't. Mr. David got hired as the head coach. He skipped 2 ranks and became a head coach. And so, what are your guys' thoughts? I know Deshaun has already basically went to his teammates and kind of talked to them about that he wants to get traded and stuff like that. Do you think he's going to stay? And if he does, do you think he's going to be successful? Or should the Texans pick a different coach? Thoughts?
Go ahead, babe. I'll let you start it.
I think Deshaun is still going to want to trade out no matter what. I don't think he's going to make waves necessarily, but I think as far as staying in leadership's ear that, hey, I don't want to be here and stuff like that. So it's very, very interesting to see, because could this set, a trend? Because as we know in the NFL, the players don't necessarily have control like in basketball. Mm-hmm. So you can request a trade all you want, and the team can just say, oh well. And now if he tries to go sit and hold out and do all of this, well, they can start hitting him with fines and all of that stuff. So it's dependent on what kind. He doesn't seem like that kind of player, that kind of person that's going to go and do that. So I think he'll show up and play as long as he's supposed to be a Houston Texan. but I just think that in the end, he's gonna get his way. Maybe not to a team he wants or something. I'm sure they're gonna try to get whatever best deal they can, and I'm sure it makes it hard for the team because they know he doesn't want to be there. So a team can come in and lowball you and be like, "We'll give you this, that, whatever," like because we know he doesn't want to be there. So they, and I think as it goes on, that just messes up your team atmosphere knowing that he doesn't want to be there. So to me, if I'm a coach, all right, you know what? I accept it as is. I don't look at it as you're giving in to what the guy wants. Just that's your okay. That's your quarterback. If your main star player, your quarterback, the main position for your team doesn't want to be there, the rest of your team's not going to be successful. So to me, just cut your losses. Hey, it is what it is. And yeah, like I'm sure you could probably trade with the Jaguars. Like if anything, try to trade and get you a good quarterback, or hell, hit up the Lions. They trying to get rid of Matthew Stafford. So I don't know. Like I mean he's decent. He ain't a bum. I'll say Matthew Stafford ain't a bum, but maybe at least you can make as best of a lateral move as you can as far as quarterback instead of a complete downgrade.
Yeah. So, man, I mean, for me, Watson has played this thing perfectly. He's done everything that he's supposed to do, the way he's supposed to do it. Um, Something happened, and we may not find out because Watson is going to be very private about it. But it's hard for me to believe a guy like that who talks to his teammates prior to asking for a trade, like, "Hey guys, I'm thinking about this," like trying to gauge the blowback that he might get from his teammates, trying to hear their perspective. Something had to happen in that relationship because last year he was all for Bill O'Brien. I'm a ride or die with Bill O'Brien. He signed a new contract, and it's not one of those things like, oh, I'm just gonna, whatever. Now, I think that he should feel slighted because you got an owner who basically asked for your perspective. You gave your perspective, and it's not just that. From my understanding, it's not just that they went in a different direction. You didn't even bother to tell him. Like he had to find out on social media who you hired in your front office. And that's probably, a pride thing maybe for him that hurt him. He might have thought, hey, I thought me and the owner had a better relationship than that you would at least talk to me because he might have some drawbacks to why he didn't want that guy in the building. Now, to me, Deshaun Watson is a draw. He's what Stephen A would call box office. He puts butts in the stands. Um, and he's talented. So, Fabe, I'm a go to a little bit of what you said. Watson is in prime position because when he signed that 4-year extension, there is a no trade clause in there. So if he doesn't like where you're trading him, he can say no.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He can say no. Easy money. So, um, I mean, listen, at at the end of the day, Watson is making what I would say is the best move for him, knowing that the relationship is fractured. And instead of playing under a fractured ownership in which, the relationship is done, he's like, nah, man, I'm gonna try to ride somewhere else. So I hope for his sake. Now, as for the coach, listen, I'm gonna talk like we talk in the stock world. Somebody gonna get left holding the bag, like somebody got caught holding the bag on that game stock. But Mr. Cully is gonna get caught holding the bag. Houston only picked him, and this is pure speculative in my opinion. They only picked him as a bridge guy for a couple of years because they knew Deshaun Watson asked for a trade weeks ago. It just came out officially, but he asked for it weeks ago. So they knew he was out the door. And when you don't have him, um, JJ Watt might be wanting out. They got a lot of chronic contracts up. So they know they might be bad.
They're in a
So they got
rebuild.
him to bridge because they may not want to burn it. Listen, all I know is probably about 3 years. I'm not even giving him 4. He probably gonna be out of there. I like the outside of the box theory that they used to hire, but I don't like what they did because there was a candidate out there that has an offensive mind that is out of this world, and you didn't hire him. We'll talk about that possibly in a little bit, but that's where I get frustrated. Hey, listen, if Mike Tomlin, you know, wasn't super hyped when he got the Steelers job, John Harbaugh wasn't super. John Harbaugh was a special teams coach, and he became a head coach. But maybe they saw CEO quality in him. I don't think so, and I know somebody that they should have got, but it's okay. It's okay. But Dante, I'll let you take it home.
All right, man. So listen, Deshaun, I hope you hear this message. I hope you hear this. If you do, please shout us out. I'm so sorry for you, man. I'm not a Houston fan. I'm a Bucks fan. I'm so sorry. They did you dirty. They gave you the bag, and when someone gives you the bag, and you come to them and you say, "Hey, listen, you gave me the bag. Let me help you. Uh, Invite me or allow me to be in this conversation when you are trying to bring somebody in that's going to help us get to where we're trying to go, and you don't put them in it and you lead them out. That lets me know automatically they ain't care. They ain't want him. They just trying to make money. They just trying to be the Pittsburgh daggone Pirates. They just
The
trying to
Pirates.
get people in there, and they just trying to make money. They, in my opinion, Deshaun is probably top. He's definitely in the top 10 quarterbacks.
Oh
He
yeah.
can go almost on any roster right now and get them. If the team, like for instance, the Colts might they might mess around and be playing. They could probably make it to the Super Bowl, probably, because they roster is nice. But he is a top 10 talent, top 10 quarterback, and to get treated that way, that is crazy. I think about, for instance, like Peyton Manning. If do you when Peyton Manning was in his prime and he was at the Colts, you think if they would have fired they would have fired their head coach. You think they wouldn't have been talking to Peyton Manning? Absolutely, because they respect him. They're looking at Deshaun Watson and they don't respect him, and that's just the bottom line. I get it. Yes, you could. They could like the qualities of of the guy David, and I don't even know him. I'm just saying like they may like the qualities that he have and what he can bring to the table. However, you ain't even calling plays, bro. Like the Ravens balling, but you over there telling them how to run the routes. You going through the receiver tree. Hey, the 9 route is a fly. The one is a curl. That's what you doing, but you the head coach now. And like I said, I'm not
I,
trying to jump on my boy.
actually, you could say he was probably teaching the receivers how to block because Lamar just gonna run.
Hey, man, hey, get up in there, man.
Yeah.
Lock him out. Yeah, you're right. So I ain't trying to jump on David. I'm just saying, man. I'm really. If I was a Texans fan, I would be highly upset, and I probably become a Dallas Cowboy fan. That's how upset I would be
Here's the
because
Come
they just
on over.
basically flushed. They just flushed it down the toilet because first off, you already messed up once because you got rid of a top 5 receiver and you shipped him out, and
That
now
balled. That balled out.
so, yeah, he balled. That's all he did was ball and beat up defensive backs when they would have who did he beat up? Was it Josh? I think it was Josh. I forget who it was. They had like, you know how they started doing these combined camps or whatever in the off season, preseason. And he
Oh,
got to
yeah.
fight with
Oh
somebody.
yeah.
It was kind of funny, but if you're just looking at the trend, so they get rid of him, then they firing their coach in the middle of the season. Whoa, what's going on? Now you in talks of your quarterback wanting to trade because you ain't trying to bring in quality. And then on top of that, if you're trying to if to go off of what Jarrell was saying, if you're trying to bridge the gap, bruh, I thought the NFL you supposed to win. So you ain't trying to win? Let me get that straight. You ain't. Oh yeah, that's right. Cap they ain't want Cap to get in the league. So yeah, you're right. People ain't trying to win. They just trying to buy spots. They just trying to get the money.
Cheat.
And,
That's a
and
cheat
do it.
coach. It's like, I mean, if he do good, cool. We got him for pennies on the dollar. They don't. I don't. Not everybody wants to go pay a Bill Belichick.
Yes.
But this is the thing, though. If you bring in somebody like a Bill Belichick, think about how much more money you're gonna make. Because now that means that now you got revenue for playoffs. When the last time the Texans been to the playoffs? So 2 years ago, maybe? Because I don't think they made it last year. I don't recall.
Yeah, they
It was.
did. They made it last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. They made
Okay.
it last year.
So
Patty.
they made it.
Patty
They made it
Mahomes.
last year, huh?
I said Patty Mahomes with the deep comeback, being down 24 points.
So I mean, you're going to make that money back and some, probably times 10, because you go on to the playoffs. If you mess around and make it to the Super Bowl, whoo, guess what? You don't. It's only 2 teams, so you getting all the spin. And then on top of that, people in the city they gonna be going nuts because like right now, I'm sure if we go to Tampa right now, Faye, it's gonna be nuts. Buck stuff everywhere. People buying up Buck stuff. They probably on sold out and had to reorder. Had to call China. Hey, we need some more stuff because people going nuts. So at the end of the day, if you're in it to win it, you're going to make whatever money you pay your coaches or your players. You're going to make it back because you're going to unless you're like I don't know, you a FAMU or something, you make it to yeah, you probably ain't gonna get that much because it's FAMU. Like your fan is not you don't have a lot of people like that. But regardless of that, man, the Texans blew it. They had an opportunity to set things right, and they did not. So shame on them. I'm sorry.
Here's a thought for you guys that I want you to your guys' opinion on. Now, okay, he's coming from receiver coach to head coach. Cool for him, cool opportunity. So if that's you guys, you're receiver coach, and now, boom, Texans call you, come out. Not saying that we don't know if he did, but to me, for one, if I'm coming out for the interview, I talk to the owners, do what I got to do. To me, my next question, hey, can I talk to uh, Deshaun? You know, like
Yeah.
obviously coming in as a head coach, you know your team's gonna have to revolve around him. So I wouldn't have a conversation with him to see where his head is at, how he would be with me, you know, if he'd be with me, if he would still stay, and just maybe we can get on the same page somewhere. What is it with the owners or whatever that frustrated you? What can I do coming in to try to repair the relationship or whatever the case may be, so that because I would hate to lose that. Like, I almost wouldn't want to come into that. I know it may be his only chance to be a head coach potentially. I don't know if I'd want to come into that as a head coach knowing my star quarterback wants out. Even though I had nothing to do with it, my star quarterback wants out. Like, that hill to success is a lot shorter if you got Deshaun on your side. If you lose Deshaun, you're basically starting over. And now, in my mind, as a head coach, I'm knowing this is a win now league.
Yep.
So I asked for y'all's opinion, but I gave mine. But
Yeah,
Go ahead,
I
Dante.
mean, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, the first, yeah, after having the conversation with the owners and the GM, yeah, my next conversation will be Deshaun Watson.
at the interview level, for me, I would want to do it even being interviewed. I ain't even got picked yet. I want to talk to him.
I, I'm with you. I'm with you. Because that hinges on your success, and whether or not you're going to have longevity, when it comes to that position. But a lot of cats see this as a come up. I mean, basically, that's how people are looking at it. It's a come up. It's not, you know, hey, you fired me, you still gotta pay me that 20 mil or whatever it is I agreed to. So, Bill O'Brien, they still gotta pay him. And, maybe some of that went into it, knowing that they were gonna probably have to pay Eric Bieniemy um, or Leslie Frazier more money because they got more experience and they're obviously hot on the market right now. So you was gonna have to come out of your pocket. So it's like, man, I gotta pay this, I gotta pay Bill O'Brien, and I gotta pay him. And who knows? This colleague guy might be willing to keep a lot of the staff members on, and maybe that's part of it. Because again, if you fire their entire staff, you got to pay two staffs. So, and listen, I didn't realize they were going to have this bad of a season, especially coming off of a playoff year. But hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Hey man, listen. Unfortunately, that's just the price of doing business. You own an NFL team. I ain't trying to hear about you. Oh, I gotta pay. I ain't trying to hear it. You supposed to be trying to get the best person in here so you can win your game. I mean, to win. And for the longest, that's what the Bucks did. We did not get the right people in. For whether it was, actually, I think we had really pretty decent coaching, but we didn't get the right talent in, as far as players and all that stuff. And guess what? Tom Brady came available, and guess what? We paid the man, and look where you at. And that's what it is. You can look at the Patriots. Patriots don't want to pay nobody. Look where they at. You gotta pay people if you want to be the best. Unless you just okay with the season that you had, or the season before that, you make it to the playoffs and you get bounced out of there. If you're okay with that, then you keep doing that. But if you want to be successful, especially when you're in a competitive environment like the NFL or any basketball, any sports, if you're going to be competitive, if you want to win, you're going to have to pay people. Period. All right. So the last question. So you, Drew.
So obviously, we got an off season coming up here, and this is just a quick question to y'all. So just thinking about the quarterbacks that have requested trades, or that are anticipated to request trades, along with the free agent quarterback. So I'm gonna name them, and y'all tell me if I'm the owner, if I'm a GM, if I'm the head coach, who are you riding with out of any of them? So we got Dak Prescott,
We got five
we got
minutes.
we got Fitzmagic, Jameis Winston, Cam Newton, Andy Dalton, Matt Stafford by trade, Watson by trade, Wentz by trade. Who you got?
Go ahead, Dante.
Deshaun Watson. Out of all the people that you name, I'm going with Deshaun Watson. Like I said, he's a top 10 quarterback. I probably would put him in the top five. Depending on what team I would have, that's an automatic upgrade, and you can build around him. And he's one of those guys that, from just watching him from afar and not being able to see a lot of the games, but the people respect him. You saw that at Clemson when he played, and then even now with his player, with him going to his players and his teammates and saying, "Hey, listen, I'm thinking about this," and I think you had a couple people that came out and said, "Hey, man, I'm sorry. I understand basically that he wants out," and that's totally respect. So that's somebody that I would love to have on my that. If I had to pick a quarterback, or if I could just hand pick, that's who I'm picking.
I'm picking. I like Dak Prescott. I I know that the what is it? Is it a moniker? Whatever. I know the thing with him is everybody's like, oh, he's got to be in the perfect situation and this and that. I get that, but I think he is really good. Yes, when you have him in that good situation, he can really manage a team, and I don't feel like he makes a lot of mistakes. I do. Maybe Deshaun can carry things on his own, but as you
Yeah.
see, when Dak got a good receiver, everything went to the next level. And then whatever happened with Zeke, but then we know the O line went down. So I know Dak needs pieces, but I really like the way he manages the game. I really do.
Who you
I
got?
got one. I got one. I'm going with Mr. King Crab Legs. King
Jameis
Crab
Winston.
Legs.
I like Jameis Winston.
Jameis, famous Jameis Winston. Hey, listen,
Wow.
we already we already saw what he could do with Tampa Bay, right? And you want to sit there and say he didn't help make those receivers. He helped make those receivers. That's number one. Number two, he got LASIK eye surgery. He's a year removed. He's healed. I'm ready to see him. And I'm gonna get him at a lower price point, which means I can put pieces around him. Jameis Winston, done.
Okay.
Jarrell needs to go and be a NFL owner, cause he ain't paying nobody. He ain't.
King Crab Leg. I'm gonna pay him crab legs. That's what I'm gonna do.
Look, you can see
They ain't
his
gotta steal him.
quarterback could come off 5,000 yard season, MVP season, and Drell gonna be like, I'm gonna need that discount. I'm gonna
Hey,
need that discount.
listen. If you ain't Aaron Rodgers, if you ain't Tom Brady, if you ain't Drew Brees, and you ain't Patrick Mahomes, I'm probably not trying to pay you. You you got to be in the argument for top three, maybe top four quarterback. I don't want the number five. You ain't worth it.
That boy sick. That boy sick. Oh,
King,
before we get to the last one. So I don't know if you guys heard or saw. There's talks that Urban Myers is trying to get Zeke in a trade. Thoughts?
take him, take him, take him, take him, take him. I listen. I don't even want a first round pick. Just give me a second round pick and get that cap off my team
They ain't
and
gonna.
get that cancer off my team. Bye bye.
Well, they said now we'll give you a fourth round.
Bye bye.
Ooh,
I'm gonna turn that fourth round pick into a better Zeke. Bye bye.
look at Urban Meyer. That would be next. Got your boy from Clemson, Zeke.
Yeah,
That
man.
would that would be a major move because that would take a lot of pressure off your boy from Clemson. A lot of
Bye bye.
pressure having Zeke back there.
Yep. Bye bye.
Interesting.
All
I
right.
mean, that
Hey man,
makes
I see
sense.
it.
You get your boy on that rookie deal, load up everybody around him on that rookie deal.
Bye bye.
That's smart. Okay, Urban, I see you.
All right, we to the end, fellas.
Since y'all can see chat, y'all go ahead and call it out since I can't see chat.
I only see one comment. My boy Judd All's house. He's a Packers fan. He bleeds that green and yellow. Ooh, Wisconsin. But so he put on here, man. The Packers should have won. The game defense just gave up too many big plays in the first half. First off, Justin, first off, you should have known y'all wasn't gonna beat the Bucks.
I won't even blame the whole defense. That was King. I'm not blaming the whole defense. I'm blaming King. That man had a horrible game. Horrible game.
If you ride together, you die together.
I'm still blaming
it's
King.
The defense. It's the defense.
That's
Did
still
you,
King.
Did you ever blame one of your offensive linemen if they jumped off sides? Or did you say it's our fault as an offensive
Yeah, I
lineman?
blame them. You doggone right I'm blaming them. The hell you doing? Costing us 5 yards.
Keep it going. Boo, boo. He done ran up, reverse. Boo, boo. He doing fade dirty.
Yeah, you doggone right I'm blaming. Bruh, Dante, if you was out there playing safety and King out there getting burnt every turn, you wouldn't be snatching him up by his neck. Bruh, what you doing? You wouldn't be snatching him up by his neck?
I would, but I say, you know what? We broke down as a defense. Because you do recall we did have some people in high school get beat up on, and I ain't gonna call no names. My boy Chuck Morrell. So we did. But hey. We appreciate you watching, Judd, though.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man, hopefully Love will get it done for y'all next year. I love you, Judd. I love you. I just messed with you. I know he was hot. Go ahead, Gerald. I'm done.
Nah, that's it, man. I just want to say, hey, man, another great show. I appreciate y'all fellas. I appreciate anybody that catches it, whether it's today, tomorrow, the next day, whenever you catch it. We appreciate you. And please, like I said, we trying to do something big. So even if you caught it for 5-10 minutes, please go over to our YouTube page and hit that subscribe button. We appreciate y'all. Faye, Dante, if y'all want to say last words, and as they say in them stocks, to the moon, bruh, to the moon.
Hey, man, if we gave you a new perspective on sports, yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's go. Butts to the Super Bowl.
All right, Faye.
All right, everybody. Thank you all again for tuning in. We will catch you guys next week for that pre-Super Bowl show. So make sure you guys come back for that. It's going to be a lot of good conversations around that.
It's going to be all things Super Bowl, baby.
A lot of Tom Brady trash talk.
Tampa Bay. And we out.